Hey everybody, welcome to TIW Podcast. I'm Eric, and today I watched WWE Monday Night Raw episode 1410, NXT episode 566, NXT UK episode 97, SmackDown episode 1086, and 205 Live episode 183, all broadcast from June 8th through 12th, 2020. So I have quite a few notes, but I'm going to go through this real quick. I'm recording this just about an hour before the kickoff for Backlash begins. So this is the week before Backlash, and I will do an episode just for Backlash in the very, very near future, probably later tonight or tomorrow morning or something like that. We'll see, but I'm super excited for it, and I want to mostly talk about predictions, but I'll make those quick as well. But Raw, I really enjoyed Raw. I did watch the entire thing. I didn't watch the Hulu version of the show, but Asuka comes out to start the show, but then Sasha and Bayley come out, Charlotte comes out, Iconics come out, and there's going to be a triple threat on Sunday. Sasha Banks and Bayley will defend against the teams of the Iconics and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. So I'm super excited. That's my most anticipated match. I really want Alexa and Nikki to win, or I really want the Iconics to win. But whoever wins, they're going to go and defend the titles against Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart on Wednesday on NXT. And I hope they win that match. So whoever wins at Backlash, I don't care, because I want Tegan and Shotzi to win on Wednesday. So there you go. We had a triple threat tag team match. Charlotte and Asuka ended up teaming up together, which was very weird, versus Sasha and Bayley and the Iconics. Asuka won the match with the Asuka Lock to Billie Kay. After that, Seth Rollins bullied Ray over Skype or Zoom or whatever, and Aleister Black interrupted that by attacking him. We got Aleister Black and Humberto Carrillo versus Austin Theory and Buddy Murphy. An excellent match. I could see any permutation of Aleister Black versus Buddy Murphy for the rest of eternity, and it would be fantastic. Seth Rollins arrives as Rey Mysterio, and that was pretty interesting. We got a special episode of the Peep Show where Christian really got he really got Edge fired up. He was telling me he had excuses and all of that, and he got the fire back in his eyes. And Christian said, "All right, I believe in you." All that. Randy, he said that the redemption of Edge is over, and then he had a video from backstage, and Edge said, "No, it's not," and then just dropped the microphone. Bobby Lashley attacked R-Truth backstage, but he doesn't go for the pin to get that 24/7 champion. He's just, taking care of business, I guess. Last week, I missed the bowling between Viking Raiders and Street Profits, which the Viking Raiders won. That seemed like it was a lot of fun. And this week, they had a decathlon, which was tied 5-5. Anything you can do, I can do better decathlon. And I could go through everything that happens, but it's a lot, but check it out. It was pretty entertaining. Then we had Andrade versus Angel Garza versus Kevin Owens in a triple threat match to determine who would challenge next for the United States Championship. Andrade and Angel, they're against each other in this match, and at times they were working together, other times they were not. Angel, very obviously, if you look on video, if you're watching it from the camera's point of view, he pushed over Zelina Vega, and he blamed it on Andrade. Andrade caught all the heat for it. Zelina was fed up with him. Unbelievable. So Andrade did win the match. He will go on at some point to face Apollo Crews to get that championship back, perhaps. So we'll see how that goes. Drew McIntyre crashed at the VIP lounge, and we had a couple other people arrive. Oh, the Viking Raiders and Street Profits arrive. And so we had Viking Raiders versus Lashley and MVP. Lashley won via the full Nelson to Eric, and then he also delivered one to Ivar, but then he got hit with the Claymore. Then we had Asuka versus Charlotte. It was a really good match. Sasha and Bayley were at ringside. They were really, really entertaining. Bayley's laugh / cackle is maybe my favorite thing in WWE right now. It's just so funny to hear her laugh. But the Iconics attack Sasha and Bayley, so they get taken out of action. Then the last segment of this match, it was like a solid half hour of the show, including commercials. But there's this fantastic counter to Charlotte's spear. Asuka like hit her in the face with her knee, and I thought that would have been the most amazing ending to this match. But Nia Jax runs in, Asuka fights her off, and then Charlotte gets the jump on her, and Asuka kicks out right after 3. I thought it was right before 3, but Charlotte gets the victory, and Nia Jax hits a Samoan drop on Asuka, delivering a message for Backlash, where she will be facing Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship. So, it's I was kind of annoyed, a little bit perturbed that Charlotte won, but Asuka, you don't see that. You don't really see that very often at all. I don't think we've even seen that this year, where somebody kicks out after 3, like right after 3, where it's very, I think it'll be interesting. Then we have on NXT, the Undisputed Era have somehow escaped Dexter Lumis, so that's good for them. Then we had, what are these abbreviations I have? Oh, Keith Lee and Mia Yim versus Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. Candice did something she was so happy about it. She said, I did the thing. I did that. I thought that was really great. Keith at one point lands on Candice and kills her. He's very concerned that she's no longer alive, and he's trying to help, and then Johnny rolls him up, and by doing so flings Candice right out of the ring onto the floor. I call this whole incident the Candy Crush. And then after getting the victory, Johnny Weekend at Bernie's Candice up the ramp, waving her hand for her, and everything is pretty great. Then we had Indus Sher versus a couple of poor fellas who didn't stand a chance. I think we're going to see them possibly challenge Breezango for their number one contenders. Is it a number one contender spot in the very near future or not? Maybe they're just going to go after whoever wins out of Breezango versus Imperium. Then we had Grimes with a possibly broken jaw. He's like, nah, I'm fine, ladies. You want to go and get some drinks or something like that? Oh, gee. He's really funny. Then we had the Breezango talking about, Fandango was shocked to learn that Tyler Breeze was 32 now. He's not just some kid. You're 32 now? Wow. They're taking on Emporium next week, and I am super excited for that. Tommaso dodges questions after they were trying to get an interview with him after the show on Sunday in your house, and he didn't answer anything. He just got in his car and left. Then we had Finn Balor versus Cameron Grimes because he was caught in the act of lying that he was hurt, that he had broken his jaw. I forget who he said was. Who is he? I don't remember. But it's Finn Balor versus Cameron Grimes. Finn Balor wins. Then we had Casey Catanzaro versus Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai wins that. And then Caden comes out to help in the brawl. And that was pretty fun. Robert Stone wants Rhea Ripley for the Robert Stone brand. And she puts him through a table. So there's a chance. She's saying there's a chance. Timothy Thatcher starts his training camp next week. That should be really interesting. Phantasma comes out. Maverick interrupts the celebration, which I thought was maybe a little bit rude. But he comes out and wants to congratulate him. He says, I would love to have an opportunity. And Phantasma says, see. But then the masked men come out. The guys in the SUV who have been attempting to kidnap people. They surround the ring. Drake Maverick and Phantasma back to back, about to take them on. And then Phantasma turns around, headbutts Drake Maverick. He was working with those guys all along, just as I expected, but I did not expect this. I did not expect it to be Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza, the only two people who were actually kidnapped. So from what I understand now, is that the three of them were taking turns being the two in the SUV, kidnapping the others. And then all the recent times we've seen them, it's been Raul and Joaquin attacking Phantasma and whoever is right there with Phantasma to make it seem like Phantasma is not behind it. And so they take off their masks, reveal who they are, and Phantasma takes off his mask. He says, "I am Santos Escobar, and I am the Cruiserweight Champion." It's so awesome. I'm so excited. And that's how the episode ends. No, it isn't how the episode ends. There's still the main event of Adam Cole versus Dexter Lumis. But, oh, man, it's so great. I'm so excited. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome. Cole calls Lumis a freak, a weirdo, and then he starts singing, what is that group? I'm a freak. I'm a weirdo. Anyway, Adam Cole wins via the last shot after Undisputed Era helps, I think it was Roderick Strong. No, Bobby Fish distracted while Roderick Strong kicked Lumis in the face. But as Cole was taunting Dexter Lumis, standing over him, yelling at him, he wakes up, grabs him, gets him into that clutch, and then the Velveteen Dream appears, fights off the others, but then the lights go out and Scarlett appears. Fallen Prey chants from the audience, and Scarlett puts a hourglass on the mat. Tick-tock, Adam Cole, tick-tock. Then, up next on NXT UK, I'm going to talk about NXT UK and 205 Live real quick before SmackDown. We had 3 picks for NXT UK, plus a bunch of promos from Noam Dar, which were really funny. He has a luxurious beard now, which is, it looks good on him. But anyway, Sam Gradwell, he chooses William Regal versus Fit Finlay from the Great American Bash 2006. Then Piper Niven chose Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm from November 28th, 2018. This was the final of their tournament for the Women's UK Championship, or the NXT UK Women's Championship. Then we had Amir Jordan chose Bret Hart versus the British Bulldog from SummerSlam 1992. Over on 205, we had 2 original matches. Everrise versus the team of Leon Ruff and Adrian Alanis. Everrise won that match. And then we had the kind of strange 6-man tag of Jack Gallagher, Miles Tahuti, and Tony Nese take on Oney Lorcan, Danny Burch, and Isaiah Swerve Scott. Isaiah Swerve Scott got the win via the confidence boost. After Jack and Nese totally abandoned their teammate, Miles Tahuti. And that brings us to SmackDown. We opened up with a contract signing between Sheamus and Jeff Hardy. Sheamus brought along a doctor so that Jeff could get a urine test, and Jeff obliges. He fills a cup with a whole bunch of urine, and then he throws it in Sheamus's face. But he waits until the doctor has got the little test strip in there so that he still passes the test, which Sheamus gets that bad news later as he's still trying to keep from puking and washing off all of the pee that's all over him and also splashed all over everybody. It's a really bad thing to do with the, in the current situation, is to throw a big cup of urine at everybody. But at least the audience had the plexiglass protecting them. But also, I've been realizing more and more, especially during Braun Strowman's entrance on this episode, the plexiglass going up the entranceway makes these the entrance graphics and stuff reflect off of those, and it looks super cool. So I really like that aspect of it. And they should maybe keep those for the rest of the time to keep the audience's hands off of everybody. They are. I'm sure they're going to keep those at least for a while. New Day versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro. Shinsuke wins by pinning Kofi Kingston. I think he hit the Kinshasa before that. Backstage we saw Otis blindfolded. Also an awesome entrance by New Day as they entered the ring and then took a knee, raised their fists in solidarity. and that was super, super awesome. By the way, I want to mention for the Black Lives Matter movements, there's a great, I think it might not still be going on, but itch.io had an awesome bundle. They might still have an awesome bundle going on with the it ends one day. It's the bundle for racial injustice and equality. It's the featured bundle on the page right now, itch.io, and proceeds go to the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund and the Community Bail Fund. So go check that out, itch.io. It is the featured bundle right now, and it ends in about a day and a half from when I am posting this. So it ends on the 15th. Late night on the 15th. Okay, so then we had Otis backstage. He's blindfolded. Tucky has a surprise for him, and it was some food. But then he gets a kiss. And he's like, Tucky, I appreciate the motivation. But then it's revealed it was Mandy. She snuck in and gave him a kiss. Then we had AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship. This match was incredible. Incredible. Go watch this match. Awesome. Like this should have been the main event of a pay-per-view, but it was on network television. Like, holy crap, this match is great. For the Intercontinental Championship, Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. AJ Styles wins. It's like 45-minute match. AJ Styles wins, and he, for the first time, has captured the Intercontinental Championship, and that's pretty cool. Then we had Sasha Banks and Bayley. They come out and they take a selfie with Michael Cole's phone, but not with Michael Cole. They like stand in front of him and block him from being in it. And then Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, they interrupt their celebration poetry. So I wanted to hear their poetry, but we didn't get to hear that. Then we had Braun Strowman and Heavy Machinery team up to fight Miz and Morrison and Dolph Ziggler. Baron Corbin tries to bother, he does bother Mandy Rose backstage, and Otis leaves the match to go attack them. So it seems like it's a 3-on-2 match for a little while there, but Otis does come back and he wins the match by pinning Dolph Ziggler. So let's talk real quick about these predictions for Backlash, because I think it's going to be a great show. It's such a weird show on paper. And it's probably going to be a weird show to watch, but I think it's going to be really, really entertaining. We have 8 matches announced. We have, starting from the bottom of the list on Wikipedia, we have Street Profits versus the Viking Raiders. Anything you can do, I can do better. The culmination of weeks and weeks of weird competitions. They're going to have an actual match, and I think that the Street Profits will hold on to their championships. Then we have Apollo Crews versus Andrade for the United States Championship, as determined by that triple threat this past week. I think that Apollo Crews will continue on as champion, because Zelina Vega, the tension between Zelina Vega and Andrade, Angel Garza, and recently having lost Austin Theory from their team, all that's going to be just make things harder and harder for them. So I think Apollo Crews will continue on as champion. Then we have the triple threat, Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Iconics. It would be awesome if the Iconics become the third 2-time women's tag team champions. But like I said, whoever wins this match, I really want them to be defeated by Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart. Get get those championships over on NXT full time for a little while. And also get some NXT people coming over to the other 2 shows for a while as well. And by that, I mean Shotzi and Tegan. Get them coming over to the other shows. Then we had Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. I think Sheamus is going to win. Because Sheamus has to be going on some type of trajectory towards getting that Intercontinental Championship. And I think he could win this one. But maybe Jeff Hardy. Well, it's a toss-up for me. I don't know. Asuka versus Nia Jax. Asuka's going to win that. Braun Strowman versus the Miz and John Morrison. Of course, Braun is going to win. He already lost a championship in a handicap match. It's not going to happen again. There's no way it can happen again. Then Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley with MVP and maybe with Lana. I think Lana's going to mess everything up for Lashley. Drew McIntyre holds on. But I mean, not that he wouldn't win anyway, but Drew McIntyre will retain the championship. Then we have Edge versus Randy Orton, the greatest match of all time, greatest wrestling match of all time. Randy Orton wins. I'm betting Randy Orton wins. He's a better wrestler. Probably. Yes. Okay, so that is it for this week going into Backlash. Let me know what your predictions are, what you hope will happen, what you thought about what happened this week by tweeting me at TIW Podcast. Go to TIWpodcast.com for more reviews. If you enjoyed this episode or anything else on the site, please share some links with your friends. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. Stay safe out there in all the infinite multiverses, and I'll see you next time here on TIW Podcast. Bye.